About Grand Isle, Louisiana. Grand Isle is located at the southern end of Leicestershire and Jefferson parishes. It is bordered by the Gulf of Mexico, Caminada Bay, and Barataria Bay. It is accessible by Louisiana Highway 1 along Bayou Leicestershire and crosses Caminada Pass to the western end of the island. And no passport is needed to escape to this laid-back sun-kissed island where people prefer to take it slow and take pleasure in fishing and outdoor activities. If you are planning to visit Grand Isle, and expect to find a 20-story luxury hotel, or museum of fine arts, opera house, or theater, you are going to be more disappointed than Ponce de Leon when he failed to find the fountain of youth. Some people may envision an island off the Louisiana coast as an island with a hot steaming jungle on it, with unbearable days and nights. This might be true of some islands in the area of the Bahamas or the Caribbean. But this is not true of Grand Isle. Grand Isle is a subtropic island that enjoys the best of the tropical and temperate zones. Warm pleasant summers, very mild and peaceful winters. Oak trees and banana trees grow on the island. Many people who live on Grand Isle year-round plant summer and winter gardens. Grand Isle has played a special role in the culture and history of Louisiana for more than 300 years. The history of Grand Isle is filled with pirate lore. During the pirate days, the only flourishing trade was the notorious operations of Henry Morgan and then Jean Lafitte. Since then, however, business has been mostly centered around the seafood fishing industry, offshore oil rig activity, and the annual influx of island seekers ready for fishing, swimming, and sunbathing and enjoying life. Grand Isle is not just any remote island on the Gulf Coast, it is a real community, with stores, restaurants. And it has been rated as one of the top 10 fishing spots in the world. Outdoor recreation is the standard for sportsmen who come to Grand Isle. There are endless opportunities to enjoy the great outdoors in and around Grand Isle. Sportsmen who come to Grand Isle have an enjoyable time regardless of whether they come during the summer season or the winter months. There are advantages to each of the seasons. Grand Isle is a sportsman's paradise, a year-round treasured getaway for sportsmen and adventure seekers. Grand Isle is often called Louisiana's jewel by fishermen. Grand Isle is a barrier island off the Louisiana coast. A beach ridge created by the action of the waves of the Gulf of Mexico. Grand Isle serves as a breakwater between the Gulf of Mexico and the network of inland channels that connect to the bayou tributaries of the Mississippi River. There is no other island like Grand Isle. Grand Isle is isolated enough to be private and modern enough to offer comfort and conveniences. Aside from spending time at the beach, many visitors enjoy a particular lifestyle or activities such as the nightlife. If you are coming to Grand Isle to fish, you will find out why several of the world's best charter captains decided to settle in the Grand Isle area. Over 280 species of fish are known to make their home in the surrounding waters of Grand Isle. Grand Isle is a dream come true for sportsmen, whether for a weekend getaway or a long vacation. Brown pelicans dive into the water. Seagulls appear to float on the wind above the shore. Crabs nimbly scamper out of reach of the children chasing them with their nets. The beach that graces Grand Isle is 7 miles long. You can avoid the crowds at the east and west ends of the island and enjoy the rest of the Grand Isle shoreline by yourself. Here and there a few humans walk or play on the beach, watching the waves surfing onto shore and feeling their daily worries trickle away. This is a typical day on the beach at Grand Isle. While most vacation destinations boast of pristine beaches and gorgeous, warm waters, Grand Isle lives up to its reputation. Different seasons offer different types of fishing. For example, speckled trout fishing is good year-round, but the best times are spring and summer. Hot redfish action along the surf occurs in fall and winter, while night flounder gigging is best during the warmer months on incoming tides. For those with a boat, however, the fishing menu can be endless. Grand Isle is also the launching point for excellent deep-sea fishing adventures. Just 6 miles offshore of Grand Isle is the world's largest man-made reef. Year after year, fishermen from Michigan and Maine, from Canada, California and the Carolinas, settle comfortably into accommodations to savor the bounty of Grand Isle. You too can experience one of the world's 10 best fishing spots, which is also home to thousands of migratory birds from North and South America. Grand Isle is host to a variety of different bird species, and bird-watching enthusiasts come from all over to observe the twice-a-year trans-Gulf migratory birds that congregate on Grand Isle before continuing their journey. There are also a vast number of year-round bird species that have drawn many a photographer to Grand Isle. For most of the year, Grand Isle with mild temperatures and clear weather, is a leisurely place. Each season brings new delights and added pleasures waiting to be explored. All 4 seasons on Grand Isle are beautiful. Spring on Grand Isle. Blackberry blooms abound. Guava bushes release their delicate white flowers. Down a shaded lane, you catch sight of a bunting. Later, above the yellow and purple Louisiana irises, you spot the flickering crimson of a tanager. Afternoon finds you on the old fishing bridge soaking up the rays and admiring the speckled trout you've caught. Nighttime is the eternal dilemma. Should you cook your catch or go to one of the island's restaurants for the freshest oysters you've ever tasted? You split the difference and do both. Summer on Grand Isle. The weekends bustle with fishing rodeos. You bring your boat or charter a boat with friends you made the year before, and experience the thrill of fishing around the oil rigs or artificial reefs in the Gulf of Mexico. Another day, you fish the back bays and canals that crisscross the nearby marshlands. You share the abundant fresh blackberries, guava and persimmon with tropical birds accustomed to the sweet, delicious fruit. You climb the observation tower at the state park for a breathtaking view from the island's eastern end clear across the Barrett area past to Fort Livingston on the neighboring island, Grand Terre. That night you enjoy the island's nightlife at any one of Grand Isle's lounges. The last full weekend of every July, sportsmen come from all over to the Grand Isle Tarpon Rodeo. On a clear summer's day, you can see the beautiful sparkling sand meeting up with the clear Gulf waters that are often freckled with sunbathers, boaters, and surf anglers. Grand Isle is one of the few places that you can cruise slowly down the highway, on a light breezy evening and enjoy the smell of heavily seasoned boiling crabs at various campsites along the roadsides. Some of the occupants can be seen inside their screened-in porches, with spread newspapers for tablecloths, wreaking havoc on these tasty critters. On any quiet night, soon after sunset, when the lapping waves of the Gulf of Mexico can be heard rustling with Grand Isle's sandy beach, you can see the day's catch being cleaned at one of the fish cleaning stations at certain boat docks. It is not uncommon during summer months, like July and August, to see people along the beach catching hampers of crabs with little effort. In fact, successful Grand Isle crabbing doesn't even require fancy crab traps or nets. Many just bring 2 sticks of appropriate length to drive into the sandy sea bottom near the beach. Between the 2 sticks, a 20 feet or so length of twine is tied with 2 feet drop lines every 3 feet apart. To the ends of the drop lines a chicken neck is tied for bait. Every 20 minutes the drop lines are carefully lifted out of the water one at a time with a landing net under the bait. As the bait clears the water, the crabs fall into the net. After the crabs have been collected in the net is emptied into an ice chest or bucket. When the crabs are running good, the lines can be checked every 5 minutes or less. Grand Isle has a rare combination of natural beauty. Part of Grand Isle's charm is its live oak trees and banana trees. It's not only the beauty but also the pleasant climate, variety of seafood, and the beautiful sunsets of Grand Isle that makes Grand Isle perfect for a fishing vacation. Deep-sea fishing offer a variety of big game fishing for wahoo, sailfish, dolphin fish, kingfish and marlin, to name just a few. Giant tarpon weighing in at more than 100 pounds come in close to the beaches and inlets during the summer. Fall on Grand Isle. The days grow shorter. The crowds thin out. Flowering vines and straw flowers rim the beach. Lantern in hand, you wade out into the night waters to catch flounder. Plentiful redfish, speckled and white trout lure you to the surf. Blue water game fishing is also excellent. Grand Isle natives and sportsmen will tell you this is the time of year the island takes on a special charm. In quiet moments you marvel at the abundant doves, the majestic ibises, egrets, cranes, and herons. You smile at the terns and kingfishers, playing and squabbling like young children. Winter on Grand Isle. Winter slips in hardly a notice, very mild and peaceful. Old friends return, visitors from the north who stay longer enjoying the climate and special winter rates. Mallards and Canadian geese have come back, too. Hunting for shells on the beach has never been better. Yahoo Travel has ranked Grand Isle, Louisiana as one of America's 10 best winter beach retreats. As always, fishing is spectacular. Grand Isle was famous for fishing long before offshore rigs became magnets for American shad, tarpon, grouper, tuna, barracuda, wahoo, cobia, pompano, greater amberjack and more. You charter fish the deep waters, or bring your own boat and fish the back bays and canals that crisscross the nearby marshlands. In the evening you enjoy friendly gatherings at one of Grand Isle's restaurants. You plan to return next year and wish it wasn't months away. Today the trip to Grand Isle, the land of Jean Lafitte, is a scenic drive down Louisiana Highway 1. Shrimp boats, churches, homes, sugarcane fields and beautiful prairie marsh teeming with wildlife can be seen along this highway. You can watch a pair of huge white egrets perform a mating dance, flight, see a mother marsh hen with her young along the roadside, or spot that big fish breaking the surface of the water. Once on Grand Isle, enjoy bird watching. You will spot one of the many resident or migratory birds, grabbing, swimming, sunbathing, fishing. You can go souvenir or shell hunting. Dine at one of the fine restaurants or sandwich shops. If quiet, shaded lanes are to your liking, a walk through their wooded areas of the island will surprise you. Tucked away in the trees are beautiful homes, some over 100 years old. Stop to visit over a fence with residents and get the history of the homes and island life in general. When thinking about living on Grand Isle, you conjure up images of endless beaches and lazy afternoons in a hammock. A relaxed style of life that is envied worldwide. Or maybe you might try your hand at pirate treasure hunting. Who knows, you might be the one who finds the lost Spanish treasure barge. Once you visit and experience the delights offered by Grand Isle, Louisiana, you will then appreciate why it is called Grand Isle. This is the way Grand Isle is perceived to those who have shared her abundance, year after year. It is as much a part of Louisiana living as red beans and rice and Bart's root beer. It is the Cajun Bahamas of Louisiana, and the natives would have it no other way. Grand Isle, the mere name says it all.